DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Topic of this video is living off peak. And living off peak means, in simple terms, what it means is doing things outside of the times where everybody else, quote unquote, everybody else does things, such that you can get more done with less traffic to deal with. And that could be all kinds of traffic. People traffic, well, there's all the traffic is people traffic. So car traffic, human traffic, delayed traffic, all those things. You do things, this is why I'm telling you to do things off peak and living your life off peak, at least in as many ways as you can, if your goal is productivity and maximizing your use of time. Now, if your goal is something else, then maybe you won't want to be off peak. So I'll explain what I mean by this. So right now, I'm recording this video. It's about 8:26 a.m. and I am going back home now. I just went to the grocery store to grab a couple things. In the grocery store, I went to Trader Joe's. It just opened at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to get there early so I could go in, grab a couple things, and get back home. I didn't want to deal with crowds, like standing in lines, having to drive around, try to find a parking spot, or even going to the parking garage. I could park right outside the store because there's not that many cars out there early in the morning. That allows me to do things quick. That's what I mean by off peak. Another thing, for example, is when I go to the gym. I work out every day, and when I go to the gym, usually I'll go to the gym as soon as it opens, whatever that time is, and I work out then. And even if I do something that is not timed, like running outside, I'll go running first thing in the morning when there's no other people outside. The only thing I see outside is, you get a few cars randomly and foxes, depending on where I'm running, and rats. Other than that, you don't really see anything else. You're just out there by yourself. And the reason that I like to do those things because I can get a lot of things done early, and I can get things knocked out early in the day before most people have even woken up. And then by the time everybody's awake and things get more active, like it's starting to get more active right now, I've already taken care of a bunch of things that I need to get taken care of. That's what being off peak means. For years, when I used to record my basketball videos that I used to put on YouTube, I would just go to the gym as soon as it opened. And it's not like people didn't know about the gym. It was very prominent. Everybody knew where it was. It's just nobody was, as much as me, consistent enough to just keep showing up to the gym to record or to work out, period, not even record. I'd just be in there by myself because nobody else was coming to the gym. It's not, again, I ain't have it blocked off or anything like that. I was just consistent in showing up. And I was doing it off peak. Now, if I showed up to the gym at like 4 in the afternoon, it would have been crowded. And I wouldn't have been able to do all the things I was doing as far as recording because there'd been too many people in the way. So those are some of the benefits of doing things off peak. And also, especially anytime you're doing anything that involves dealing with retail businesses, like going to the grocery store, going to the bank, anything where you got to deal with the employees who deal with the customers inside of businesses. Off peak is a great idea, and I'm gonna tell you, here's a hidden secret as to why doing things off peak is a great idea. Because especially when you're working in a retail business, the customer service folks, they got to deal with people all day. And people, any of you who's ever worked in any type of retail business, I have, you know that people can get kind of annoying when you're dealing with them all day. By the end of the day, or even by the middle of the day, you probably had enough of some of the people that you're gonna have to deal with. And again, depending on the line of work you're in, this can be more pronounced than in other lines of work. I gotta steal my way into this line here because they got roads blocked off with construction happening down here. So I'm being delayed here. Even though I'm off peak, I'm being delayed because they got construction on the road. So I can't get home as quickly as I wanted to. But anyway, when you think about a place like, a couple places I think about prominently. Banks, I don't really go in the bank that much anymore, but the post office is a great example. Anywhere where people do shipments, like the post office, UPS, those are probably the two that I'm thinking of the most here. If you go to one of those places in the middle of the day, like 12 in the afternoon or 3 or 4 later in the afternoon, oftentimes the workers who are working there, they've just been dealing with people all day for so much that they're kind of they're frazzled just from having to deal with people all day. It's not that you did anything wrong. It's not even that they're a bad person. It's just that they've dealt with 100, 200, 500 customers by this point in the day. And any of you ever been to a post office or a UPS, you know that it can get crazy in there, right? With the customers and the questions and people not understanding stuff and all of that. I would suggest you try to position yourself to avoid dealing with people who have been burned out from dealing with customers all day. The way you do that is go there first thing in the morning. So if I go to the post office, I don't really go to the post office that much anymore. But when I used to go to the post office to have to like drop off packages and ship packages and stuff like that, what I would do is I would get there as soon as it opens. So if I know the post office opens at 8 a.m., I would leave my house at 7:45 so I could be the first person in line and deal with the customer service person. I'd be the first customer they dealt with in the day. Guess what? Usually they were very polite, happy, cheerful, helpful. Why? Because they hadn't had to deal with anybody yet. I'm the first person they dealt with all day, so they weren't annoyed or bothered from having to deal with people. So these are all benefits of doing things off peak. I might think of a couple more while I'm talking here, but now let me talk to you about on peak. Why would you ever want to do things on peak, and would there ever be a benefit of doing things on peak? And the answer is yes, there is a benefit. One of the benefits of doing things on peak is if you're trying to get seen, if you just want to be, seen like people see you with their eyes, and also if you want to be on the scene being like it's just a bunch of people around, you just want to be around and see what's happening, that's when you want to do things on peak. So if I just wanted to be around where people were, let's say for example, I told you I go to the gym first thing in the morning, right, to work out. And I'm usually in there with it's a morning group. Any of you go to the gym early in the morning, you'll see the same people all the time because everybody who goes early. And the people who show up late, they show up late. Or later, they go later. If I was, let's say, single, right, and I'm an athlete, and I want to meet people. My main thing is I just want to meet people, as many as I can. Then I wouldn't go off peak with everything I do. I would do some things on peak on purpose, strategically, because I know if I do things on peak, I'm going to be engaging with more people. I'm going to be around more people when I do stuff, which gives me a better chance of meeting somebody who I might be trying to meet. So doing things on peak has its benefits. It's just as long as you are doing it with a purpose. So if I'm doing business, for example, and I just want people to see me, I want people to notice me, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to get seen. I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to draw attention to myself just by being present. I don't even have to do anything. Just by being present in that place, it'll draw more attention. So if I wanted to meet somebody in a grocery store, I wouldn't go 8 o'clock in the morning because there's nobody else in there. I walked in the store, grabbed my stuff, walked out. I barely saw another customer because there weren't any. The store just open. But if I think, hey, maybe I'll get lucky and meet somebody in the grocery store, I'm going to go to the grocery store like 2 in the afternoon because that's when there's people in there. And I might run into the person who I want to meet by being in the grocery store at 2 in the afternoon. So there are benefits to on peak, and there are benefits to off peak. When you do things like going to events or conferences and things like that, symposiums, what is that? That is on peak. There's going to be a bunch of people there, all at the same time, all with the same purpose, and they want to see and be seen. So that's on peak stuff. And then there's things where you just want to get things done quickly and fast. And you just want to get in and out, and you want to use as little time as possible. That's off peak. And I would suggest those of you who are focused on productivity and time efficiency, figure out how you can get more things done in off-peak times. And I suggest, when I say off-peak, I usually suggest early rather than late. So I could technically go to the grocery store. Let's say it closes at 10 o'clock at night, right? I could go to the grocery store at 9:45 at night. Why not just do that? That's off-peak as well, technically. But I find, and you can tell me if you see different, that most people, if they're going to do, most people will more likely stay up late than wake up early. So if you really want off peak, you're better off waking up early and just beating the rest of the world, because most people don't have the discipline to wake up early consistently. But a lot of people will stay up late. Sometimes I'm going outside to run. It'll be 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. I'm going outside to run, and I see people. I just did today, as a matter of fact, coming home from being at the club the night before. And just this morning, I was coming in from my run, two times. First, I was finishing my run, and I seen these like 6 people, like 3 guys, 3 girls. They were walking from wherever they were back to their building, and they were coming from being out. I could tell the way they were dressed. They didn't just get up in the morning and start walking the streets. And then when I got in the elevator in my building, I seen a guy and a girl. They were just coming in from the elevator. They were getting on the elevator to go to their place, and they were coming in from the previous night. I'm coming in from a workout. So people are more likely to stay up late than they are to wake up early. So if you really want off peak and you really want to avoid human congestion, earlier is better, always. And it was one other thing I was going to say about on peak and off peak. Well, let me just reiterate, and it might come back to me. So again, off peak, saving time efficiency. On peak is when you're trying to get seen, heard, and known. If you're not trying to get seen, heard, and known, you just want to get things done and have more time in your life. And almost everybody I talk to, almost every person I talk to, they say they want to do more stuff in less time. That's almost everybody who's listening to this. You got more things you want to get done, and you want to get it done in a limited amount of time. And the way things are looking right now, you got more things to do than you have time to do them, right? That's almost everybody. It applies to damn near everyone. Anyone who has goals and ambitions, we all have that problem. So ask yourself, how can you shift more of your life to be handled in off-peak times? This usually means doing things earlier, not doing things later. How can I do things earlier? How can you wake up an hour or 2 earlier? And as a matter of fact, there's another thing. A lot of people I talk to, they know they could get more done if they woke up earlier. The problem is they quote unquote can't wake up early. All right, you got to solve that problem. That I can't wake up early, all right, that right there is going to kill any chances you have of hitting all your goals. So I get it if you're not getting enough sleep. And human beings, biologically, we need a certain amount of sleep, but that just means you got to go to bed earlier. If you're not able to go to bed earlier, well, what's causing that? Now, some of you, it might be your kids. If you got kids, then I get it. There ain't really nothing you can do about that. I mean, it's something you could do, but you probably don't want to do that. If you got kids, then you just had to figure out how can you make it work anyway. Can you take a nap in the middle of the day? Can you, I don't know, take an extra cup of coffee? Whatever it is you're going to do to give yourself some more energy. But when you make it a decision, when you make it a must, something that you absolutely have to do, then you'll figure out a way to make it work. Now, if it's an optional thing, like I might do it, I might not, then it's easy to just say, well, hey, my kids had me up late, and just last night, as a matter of fact, my son he's toilet training right now, potty training, and he's waking up in the middle of the night. Wife is changing his clothes because he doesn't have a diaper on now, so we got to put him on a potty and all this stuff, and he wakes up sometimes it's in the middle of the night for any reason, and it interrupts my sleep, so I'm not getting a full night of sleep. However, there is no way, and I want you to notice my language here, no way I'm missing a workout. I'm not missing a workout. I don't care if I get 4 hours of sleep. I don't care if I get 3 hours of sleep. I don't care if I got to get out of bed 3 times in the middle of the night to put my son back to sleep. I'm not missing my workout in the morning. And that's whether I got another person waiting on me, whether I'm working out by myself. It doesn't matter. I'm not missing a workout. And the reason I'm bringing that up to you is not to impress you, but to impress upon you. Once you make a decision that you're going to live a certain way, then it doesn't matter what obstacles get thrown in your way for getting that thing done. The obstacles just actually make it kind of, in a way, more fun because you're going to do it anyway. And then you can brag about it in a video like I'm doing right now. So, and I'm saying that as a tongue-in-cheek thing. And the whole point is you got to make a decision on what matters the most to you. Is it making sure that you get these things done in the time that you have, or is it you're going to allow the circumstance, i.e. other people, other situations, no obstacles getting in your way, you're going to allow that to have control over have more of the final say as to what happens in your life and your business, etc. So this is a choice you got to make. It all comes down to decision. And all this stuff I've been talking about here, all the stuff I talk about, period, it all comes down to decision. I'm just giving you the tools, or at least I'm pointing you in the direction of the tools that can help you with the decision that you made. But you have to make the decision. Once you make the decision, then the tools will help. But the tools won't help if you haven't made the decision yet. This is why mindset is the foundation of everything that we do here. Decision is about mindset. It's about setting in your mind that this is the way that things are going to go. Once you do that, then all the tools are useful. But if you haven't made the decision yet, you have all the tools in the world, you're not going to do nothing with it. Get it? all that said, Work on Your Game University. You want to work with me directly, that's the only place I do any coaching. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where you can see what our program is about. You can schedule a time to have a conversation with us, talk about where you're at, where you want to go, what you feel like might be in your way. And if we believe we can help you, we'll tell you, and we'll tell you how it works. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link is in the description of this video, or just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can remember that, right? All right, that's that, everybody. And I'm home. Work on your game. Dre, all